Talk us through it, how they're actually dividing this up, because this isn't this year completely, is it? It got a bump from what was promised back in 2011.
Yeah, that's right. For Cook, so salary and bonus he gets for his performance this year. Now, the stock award comes from, the equity comes from a stock award that he received back in 2011 when he was initially hired as CEO. Part of it is tied to Apple's stock price performance and dividends paid out, and part of it is just paid if he remains on the job. And it was a big chunk of this award that vested last year, worth about $136 million in total.
And when you're looking at the chart, you know, almost doubling the stock price since he's taken over, you can potentially argue why this happens. You've got to dig into the Bloomberg a little bit more. I've got PayGo, which is a function that all the Bloomberg terminal users can use. You can see that, well, Timothy Donald Cook came in 12th back in 2015 when it comes to who are the wealthiest, well, most highly compensated CEOs. But if he gets 145 million, well, suddenly that will parachute him up to what would have been 4th position this time last year. So clearly come in just shy of Sundar Pichai over at Google and still just ahead of Elon Musk. Big pay packages for the tech giants. But what about the 350 million he's now earned? What about next to come? Does he get even more uptick when it comes to 2017, 2018?
If he stays on the job and if Apple shares keep doing well, then there's definitely more money to be collected for him. He's gotten about $350 million worth of shares since he took over as CEO, and we clocked halftime in August, so he's got the second half of these shares left to be earned over the next 5 years. So there's definitely more money for him to be made, and there could be some more big payouts in years to come if Apple keeps doing well.
More money for Tim Cook, not for his top lieutenants. You're thinking of Angela Arendt, I'm thinking of Eddie Q. They saw their money actually go down in 2016. Yeah,
well, it depends on if you consider $22.8 million a lot of money or not. Their pay definitely
but
dropped.
A smidgen.
Yeah, their pay definitely dropped a little bit. Salary stayed the same, and so did the equity awards at about $20 million. What did press them down a little bit was the cash bonus. Apple missed net sales and operating income targets for fiscal 2016, and that's why they saw downward adjustments. And Apple tries to link pay to performance very closely, so they do quite drastic adjustments to bonuses, even though the misses in the goals for net sales and operating income are actually not that great.
And now, Anders, the compensation disclosures didn't include everyone, and many argue that in fact Johnny Ive is the most important employee over at Apple. Where did he come in? Why was his numbers not published?
Yes, there's a bunch of legal reasons why his pay doesn't have to be disclosed. He's essentially not classified as a reporting officer for Securities and Exchange Commission reporting purposes, so Apple doesn't have to disclose how much he makes. And you know, covering executive pay, that's something I've been curious about for a while, because he is a very important employee there. He's been part of developing, you know, the iPhone, the Macintosh, the iMac. A lot of important things. So we assume that he probably gets a good chunk of change as well. We just don't know how much it is, and Apple doesn't have to disclose it.